Hey, yo, outliers. You're in for a treat today. Michelle Masters has spent 30 years going where almost no one else dares, into the subconscious, rewiring the beliefs that run us from the basement. And she's largely had that field to herself. Now, she's taken 3 decades of mastery national with her book, Wired for Money. She came in ready to go bigger and to bring more of herself to the world. But going big isn't the risk. The risk was being seen, fully seen for all of you by a world so quick to doubt. So, what does it take for a master to walk onto the biggest stage of her life without leaving a single part of her genius backstage? Let's go into the room and find out. I'm really glad to be spending time with you, Michelle. I'm what I get about you is that not only are you seasoned, experienced, and strong, like a master in what you do, right? But you also bring to it a curiosity and openness to explore new things. And I think that to me, that's what gets behind the real sense of mastery. It's almost like you're consistently learning and such. I know here we're going to be having an incredible conversation, but I want outliers to get a sense of who you are and the game that you're playing. Would you mind letting us know about the game that you play, Michelle?
Well, sure. Yeah, because it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do, and I was around 32 when I found the work. And honestly, before that, I probably was not mature enough to start the work. But I found this work that because I always wanted to help people. The thing that always, anytime there's a movie or TV show where somebody transforms or they step into a bigger vision of themselves, or even when Julia Roberts finally gets to shop in Pretty Woman, like I cry. Like these things are, it's just so moving for me when somebody does something at the Olympics that's never been done. Just watching footage of Secretariat back in the 70s, winning by 30. See, I get teary, winning by 32 lengths. When there is this experience of what we're really capable of and who we really are, that's what I live for. So I found this work, NLP, terrible name, and has been misused by a lot of people, but it can actually change like blocks and patterns that are in our way permanently. I did a lot of therapy with a saint, an absolute saint, adore that woman. And I got a lot of self acceptance and self awareness and self understanding, but the patterns didn't change. So when I found this, and even in their like little parlor tricks in the intro, I could feel stuff like shift and be literally feel different. I'm like, well, if they can do this in 15 minutes, what can this stuff actually do? So I've been doing this now since 1994. So I've logged a few miles, and I just took to it. And I also 2 years in found family constellation work, which is amazing. And then somewhere around 2008, I went to see the late great Richard Bartlett, and Melissa Joy, who they were doing matrix energetics. And I found a way to fuse a lot of the quantum work, the family systems work, and the NLP stuff to address most of the blocks that keep people from having either the money they want, the love they want, the health they want, the happiness they want, in ways that are permanent. I mean, the change stays permanent. People keep growing and they keep wanting more and different things, but it's not the kind of thing where you have to wake up every morning and do your, half hour of meditation and affirmations. Like, the stuff is different. And that's the thing that motivates me. And so at a certain point, I realized there's a bunch of people who are never going to come work with me. They're never going to come to a workshop. And so that's when I decided to write my first book, that had some of the tools that were the most bulletproof in it, that I could be pretty certain people would have a good experience of it. And so about a year and a half ago, Sounds True Publishing, they're now St. Martin's Essentials, asked me if I'd be willing to do an updated version of the book. And so here's why I'm on a ton of podcasts right now, because it's coming out in August. You may be hearing this after it's come out in August of 2026. But I really want to leave behind and serve people that are never going to see me, leave them with tools to shift things so they can start to live the life they came here to live instead of the life they're struggling with. Be the short way to say it, although it wasn't that short.
No, let me just take a breath on this one here. Like, you just went from 1994 to 2026
Yeah.
in a span of a few minutes here. Like
Yeah.
relatively speaking, this is the short
Okay.
way to say it. All right.
Okay.
I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
Two, I'm turning 40 at the time of this recording. I'm turning 40 in a month's time. All right.
Okay.
And I'm now starting to think about things in terms of decades and
Yeah.
generations. I'm like, all right, 10 years, 25, because I'm starting to see how much work is really required to be a master, like the throwing out there. And so it actually it really energizes me just even hearing you find like, oh, you're calling, you found it at like 32 and you started working through it. I'm like, okay, like we're in the right shape. We're good.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like you look like you're having fun, like you're like, you know, like things are going with it and you're still finding new ways to keep going. So
Yeah.
like this just, you know, that was like personally meaningful for me.
I'm glad.
Um, you also like when the tears were coming to you, like one of the two things happened there. One, I was like, oh yeah, like Michelle has a movement underneath her because like my general thing is, um, someone said it to me. I was like, I want to create a movement. I want to create a movement. He's like, dude, you don't get it. He's like, if you want to create if you want to have a movement, like you have to be moved, you know, and then all
Mm.
the rest of it comes afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
But like that's it. And so like I can see, like I could hear it in you. I could hear like the conviction you have and like your dedication to really serving people. And this was something that was coming to my mind. And Outlier is like I really love this element that you put in, which is like there's a speed element to this. There's both a speed and a permanence, right? You're like, look, even with like the parlor tricks, like you're like, I'm not going to say that it wasn't like that it was the deepest thing, but like even it's like it's almost like even a little like bit of fairy dust was like able to get the job done. Like, what would it be like if I actually had the full thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think that there's something that really struck me, Michelle, where it really came down to how are we creating enough impact in the world from like that like level of like certainty and conviction and such that even a 15-minute experience would be life changing, you know. And like and that was so much. I'm going to ask you a little bit more about the book, but is there
Mhm.
anything about what I said right now that you want to respond to?
Well, one of the quotes I put in the original book, the redo version has a different translation of it, but it's one of my favorite quotes from Rumi. He said, when I was young and I was young and something, I wanted to change the world. Now I'm old and wise and I changed myself. And I tell you, because I get people all the time who say, I want to make a difference in the world. And I always tell them, oh, you will make a difference in the world. That is not in question. What's in
Mm,
question is what kind, because we're all
mm,
affecting everything and everyone all the time. And that's physics. That's not, new age fairy dust. Like everything is affecting all the particles of the universe all the time. The question is how. And so when you come into more alignment, when you're happier, when you're more at peace with yourself, when you're thriving, that affects everything and everyone around you. It like ripples out to the edge of the universe and comes back
mm,
in like a feedback loop. So it is truly, I mean, the we think we have to change out there, but when we change in here, there's infinite effects to that. Because we can't interfere with other people's free will, but just by the nature of us shifting, what we offer the world is, again, that will make me cry because that is the most powerful and beautiful gift we can give. And I know it doesn't feel that way. I know it feels like we have to change society and change the governments. But I swear to you, all big change doesn't start from the top down, it starts from the ground up. All real movement starts from the ground up. And when it starts from inside us, then we are not a force in a controlly way, but a force in a way that is cannot be denied,
mm.
if that makes sense.
Does it make sense, Michelle? Like, so I'll tell you the new things that are starting to come online that make sense for me from this,
Okay.
right? Like I think about like a force of nature, right?
Yeah.
I think about the word inevitable has just been like continuing on. I love this element of like it cannot be denied. Like it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might get blocked, it might get stopped, it might be like I might have to, it might take me 10 years longer than I thought it was. It might take me 25 years longer, but it's happening. This is already here. It's
Yeah.
just like we have to find out what's it going to take before it comes in. So one of
Yeah.
those element of undeniable really is coming through. The other thing that shows up for me is this element of when you said it's not top down, it comes from the ground up. I've been playing with this like internal sense of within my business and my work and life. I don't consider myself a big executor. People be surprised because we have like hundreds of these episodes out there. But like,
Right.
I'm influence is my thing. Like relationships is my thing, and like getting things done is not like it's not my real cup of tea. And I realized that like someone was trying to say like, how do we like? I just want to help you move forward. And I it's like actually that's not what I want. The direction I want is not forward. I want up and out, up and out. And when you just said like top down to bottom up, it made me like reflect in there. I was like, that's it. Like I'm looking for like a ground up, right? It was like I'm like, yeah, I want that like upward feeling. And then what I thought you were going to say was that each change happens from the inside out, you know? And so you didn't say that, but I like my brain was thinking that. So now I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, we have ground up, inside out. Like, boom, that's what I mean. Up and out. Like that to me is that's where change, impact, leadership comes in. So I just want to let you know, like I had that was my own personal reflection on this. And it makes me smile. Like I love the way that we have these conversations because it's never a linear insight is not linear, right? We're not
Yeah.
here to teach as much as like the doors open up. And
Yeah.
so that being said, you did
Mhm.
create an artifact that does teach things, that does help people out here. Do you mind telling us more? Like you haven't mentioned the name of the book, so I want to make sure like outliers know like what
Oh,
the
yeah.
book is, all that there. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that, Michelle?
Yeah. It's called Wired for Money, because it is about, most people, most people's blocks are not conscious. By the time you're an adult, you've pretty much handled all the conscious stuff. So the stuff that's in our way is typically not conscious, it's subconscious. And what most people try to do is solve subconscious problems with conscious action. And the problem with that is, given the way the brain is designed, if the brain were a building, your subconscious would be the basement and your conscious mind would be the penthouse. And so if you've got old wiring in the basement, sending a bunch of experts up to the penthouse to talk about it, okay. But at some point, somebody's got to go down in the basement. And this is what almost nobody else is doing. So I've kind of had the field to myself for a while. But what this is this comes at it from different angles, to change beliefs, because our beliefs are not stored in our conscious mind. So when people like write down a limiting belief and crumple it up and throw it away and think, okay, that belief's done, I will believe something different now. That's like if the brakes on your car are out and you wrote, okay, my brakes are out. I throw that away. My brakes are fine now. No, somebody's got to go check your brakes. And so this is a way of actually getting into where the stuff that keeps us stuck and feeling worthless and not enough, and like we have to work hard to deserve money, that there's not enough, that we're not enough, all that stuff, that people won't like us if we succeed, all that, to get that stuff changed at the root, like where it's actually running, because it runs on it's like CNN. It runs on, those beliefs run on a 24 hours a day loop, 7 days a week, the worst, greatest hits of your childhood on a constant loop. And the conscious mind is aware of almost none of it, but it runs continuously. So being able to rewire that stuff so that it automatically is now running, life is good. There's, things can work out. I'm okay. I'm enough. I deserve a good life. I'm lovable. When that starts running instead of the old, not on top of it, because when people try and do affirmations, they're just adding more stuff onto the tape, and the stuff they add consciously is not running 24 hours a day. But when we actually rewire the stuff running 24 hours a day, then life has to change to match what we're the screen has to match what we're projecting outwards. Now it has to change. So that's what I've put in this book, is some of my most durable patterns for changing the biggest things, like old beliefs about money, old beliefs about ourselves, old family lineage, ancestral loyalties, and our relationship to money, frankly. So I'll hear people talk about it and they'll say, like, I don't want to have to think about money. I don't want to have to deal with it. I just want it to be there when I need it. Like it's some kind of nuisance. Imagine if you advertised for a relationship. You said, I don't want to have to think about you. I don't want to have to deal with you. I just want you to be there when I need you. Send photo. So So it was on my 20, like, how long have I been seeing people? 30, over 30 years I've been working with people. So I've had a lot of experiences and I've been running my money magic workshops for 20 years with no marketing. And it took me all over the world. I finally have somebody who's taken over the marketing and doing a good job. But for a long time, I had none. And it's still, because I did the belief work first, it still took me all over the world.
This is really incredible, and I think, like Michelle, there's something that I really like. I like a few things about like the way that you bring yourself in. One of them is I love your conviction,
Mhm.
right? And like I believe you, Michelle. Like no, and I think it's really
Yeah.
important because like I got to spend my time with a lot of change makers, and there are a number of them who are in coaching and other and transformation and such. And I'm like, you just like you have the goods. Like you've been at this for like 3 decades on this
Yeah.
here. Like you like I noticed your language where you're like it's like you find the most durable, the biggest
Mhm.
elements of the salt. So it's like I imagine like I want like I'm gonna go get the book. Like I'm like this, and I say that like not to be like kind or like pleasant
Yeah.
here. Like I don't like I'm very like I don't bring a lot of people in nowadays, but like I like there's elements about what you're saying where I'm like I know how to do the conscious things. I know how to like consciously go and do my manifesto and reread it and so on and so forth. But you're offering something different. You're
Yeah.
offering something that's like, hey, by the way, do you know how to get to the subconscious things? Like, do you really? Do you really, really? Because I do. And like, I figured out what I do a lot through the workshops and through the work that you do, but you figured out a way to also put it into like a digestible, durable way that we can go and
Yeah.
implement. And that actually really excites me. So
Yeah.
like thank you for putting in the decades of work. Thank you for putting in like the hundreds, if not thousands, of people that you've worked with to be able to get the discernment to know that which is durable versus that which is a thought that is a fleeting Instagram post.
Yeah. A
I
trend.
yeah, a trend, right? So like I really want to acknowledge you and such on that. If someone like outliers are probably like clamoring to go get their hands on this, like what's the way that they go and do that?
Oh, the book's called Wired for Money. And so you can go to wiredformoney.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Keeping it simple. There's also a simplicity to this, Michelle, that I love, where it's just like like everyone's like, you can go to all these other places. You're like, well, this is what the book's called. So just go to where the book's called.com.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Wiredformoney.com. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. All right. Michelle, what we're gonna shift gears in a bit and like we're gonna like one of the things we do differently here in Outliers, I just said like we really go to the edge of the outliers that are on our on the show. And what I want to make sure is that I want to make sure that any outlier who wants to go either deeper down the journey with you, they know how to get the book. If
Right.
they want to go deeper down the journey with you, how would they do that? And then I'm going to give you a chance here to share what I call an outsight, which is something that you want outliers to know
Uh-huh.
here. And if we can do those two, we'll wrap up this portion of the conversation and then we'll shift
Okay.
over.
Okay. Well, if they want to work with me directly, my website is wiredformagic.com.
I see
Um,
what you did there.
yeah, right. Right.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah. You
it.
can look forward to a Wired for Love and Connection or some kind of Wired for Relationship book sometime. But yeah, so it's wiredformagic.com just to contact me or to sign up for a course or something. And what was the second? Was it the
An outside. So this is
outside?
like it's like a
Yeah,
takeaway that you want for
yeah,
them, for any
yeah.
outlier that's listening.
So, and the story is in the book. So if you get the book, you'll read it again. But I was teaching a private money magic workshop for a group in a couple of years back, and because they brought me in. And so typically up until then, anybody who came to my workshops, especially since I did no marketing, they knew fair amount about me before they signed up. And these people were only coming because the guy told him, who was organizing the retreat told them to come. So they didn't know me from Adam. I didn't know them. And I had to find them. Like I had to locate their coordinates to make this relevant to them. So I started off differently. I asked them, what do you want to come out of this? And the second guy who raised his hand, he said, I just want to be the best version of me. And we're 5 minutes in. This is a group of professional speakers. We're 5 minutes in, and I looked at this guy, and for a moment, I saw him the way the universe sees him. And I got super emotional. Like it was a while before I could talk because I could see him in all of his uh, beauty. And I don't mean that physically. And here he is wanting to be the best version of himself. And I just said, buddy, box ticked, already there. Now, what would you like? And it is my experience. I had it directly there. I could see him as the infinite sees him. And so what I want people to know is you're already the best version of you, already done. Will you grow and change and evolve into the next version of you? Absolutely. But there's nothing missing in you. There's nothing broken in you. There's nothing you need to apologize for. You're allowed to make mistakes. We come here to try stuff and learn stuff. You can't do that without mistakes. And honestly, even to call that learning a mistake is a misnomer. So there's no place you need to get to where you'll finally be okay. You're okay, like universal stamp of approval already there. So the big question is, what would you like? Where do you want to go? The universe is here. Let's go for a ride.
Let's go for a ride. So, like Outliers, if you're not watching the video, like you would have missed me dancing to this here. But like, yeah, Michelle, that's so what a wonderful outside. Like I often say to people, like, well, what if you're already ready? You know, like I love this element of like because I'm thinking about this. I'm like, am I enough? Any beliefs that I have, like all that stuff is like it's like, well, what if that actually isn't anything that you could even work at because the box is already ticked. Like you can't double tick the box. Like
Yeah.
it's not like it's a really cool thing. Thank you for that here. And
Yeah.
I felt really called while we were talking. I was like, no, I don't want to just like say that I'm going to get this book. Like, so I have it downloaded and pre-ordered on my Audible. I'm an
Okay.
audio person.
Okay.
So like it's so I'm waiting for it to come out. I have to be patient now. By the time y'all
Okay.
listen to this, I would have been already like on the other side of this year. But yeah, Michelle. All right. Well, I
Thank
appreciate
you,
you.
Nima. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I did the audiobook, so it'll be my voice.
Oh, yes, that's a
Yeah.
win. No, but like I'm really thinking about it because I like in talking to you, I see that you allow yourself to feel,
Mm.
and you not just allow yourself, but like feel like you open the door for everything that is real to come out. And so um I got someone else's book who I really respect, and they only had the Kindle version, and so I tried to listen to the audio version of it. I was like, I don't get it. I don't like this, and like, but I'm sure that once I hear his voice, I'm like, oh, there goes the magic of what's being said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like there's a reason why we use the cadence and the breaths and
yeah,
like and what's being said. It's not just
yeah.
words on the paper. So I'm
No,
excited
and
for
it's
it.
frequency and transmission, and the it communicates on so many levels other than just words.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm excited for it.
yeah. Thanks.
So, Michelle, what we're going to do now is that we're going to switch gears, right? We're going to
Okay.
completely like shift
Yeah.
hats and everything here, right? And we're going to play. We're going to play.
Okay.
This part of the conversation is something where like you've like if you decide to play and like really play out there, we're going to make sure that the first part comes out. Like
Mhm.
I'm all right with that. This part of the conversation, if we get to the place where you're like, hey, we went to a place that I actually don't want to go out into the world, just tell me and we won't release it, right?
Okay.
But I feel like we've been in integrity here, and I'm gonna continue on with it. So Outliers gonna like they know who you are in terms of what you've created and what's coming
Mhm.
out there, and now we're going to the edge.
Okay.
Like you're still playing this game, and so
Okay.
um, I want to like create space for something new to come out of here. There's no pressure on it. Like I'm not
Yeah.
saying but like I would like to be in the conversation where we have that. Are you open to me sitting in a coaching seat and like being coaching and co-creation seat more like so that we can go and create something here that you might really want? Are you open to that?
Yeah, it's going to look like I'm not looking at you, but it's because I actually want to look at you now, and with the
Yeah,
camera thing, so it's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
look
Yeah. No,
different.
that's
So
that's
I'm going to,
that's totally we're fine. We're like I'm
yeah,
not worried about that. But
yeah,
you're good with this here, right?
yeah. Let's see what
Okay.
happens.
All right, yeah, I love that. But like I said, like no pressure. So right now I'm living from a place of everything I do is life changing, but similar to like the checking the box of the universe. I'm like, there's no way to be in conversation with me if and not have it be life changing. So I'm not even going to ask for that, right?
Okay.
I would love to find like if me and you were going to talk about something that was outrageous, edgy, and or fun. I could just go for the best. Outrageous, edgy, and fun for you, right?
Uh-huh.
What would we be talking about? What would you love to create?
Well, yeah, because this was on your speaker form, and I signed up late, like yesterday or something. So it's like I said I'll have to think about it, and because I was thinking about, I mean, sure, do I have financial goals? Yeah, but they don't really motivate me. Do I have, here's what actually motivates me, and it is a little out there. So
Yes.
there is a name that a name's not quite the right word, but there is a signature that each individual soul has that is their unique soul signature. So it's not like there's some Bob souls and some Tom souls. Like there's, you know, every soul has a very unique signature. And I've known that for a while, but I was listening to a near death experiencer talk about his experience. And he said in his near death, he heard God call him by his name, not the name Paul or whatever his current is, but by the name that called him into being, right? Which is a probably a sound, but definitely a vibrational frequency. And I don't even know if we can, how we would get there, but especially because my work's about to go probably much bigger than it's been. I've kind of enjoyed my boutique lifestyle. It's been kind of quiet, kept me fed and let me travel the world and have a good life. But I never had big financial goals, and I valued, my a certain amount of quiet, and it's going to be not so quiet going forward. And that's okay. I'm 64. I figure I got 20, maybe 30 years of work left in me. I want to leave stuff in place. I want to leave behind people who know how to do what I do and a body of work that can continue to help people afterwards. But here's the thing, there is, all right, outliers, beware. But I don't come to this planet that often. I'll just tell you.
If you're a leader with a track record of success and there's a vision you're ready to bring to life that feels outrageous right now, I have an invitation for you. Outlier's Edge is a world for different minded, like hearted leaders who are owning what makes them different to make a world of difference. And at the center of that world is a weekly coaching room where we bring the visions that just won't leave us alone. We get coached, stay accountable, and build alongside others, creating something different. If you're pursuing something that's too big, too early, or too improbable for most rooms, this is your room. Go to outliersedge.com/world and come in as my guest.
Um, and I have memories of working other times, other places, including the future. And this particular time right now is I can best leave behind what I want and create what I want by incorporating a lot of who I have been, who I will be, who I am being already in other times, having them all a lot more present, all in the same body. I won't say identity because the identity is going to have to upgrade, but but yeah, I don't even know how this would happen, but I won't say it here. I do have there is a name that I have heard that feels really good, but there is that name that called me into creation that if that I'm wanting to make contact with that soul essence that is operating across time and space in whatever ways are useful right now because I miss those parts of me, if that makes sense. Um, it's like dipping your toes in a pond and the rest of you wants to go in and you've got three toes in and the toes miss the rest of you is kind of what it's like. Um, and I think as I'm going to be playing a bigger game, it will serve me well if there's more of me there, if that makes sense.
So I'll tell you what's coming through for me, right? Um, One, as I'm talking this, I'm like, this conversation that we're having, like, is not I don't think sense is the right word to be using to throughout the conversation, like whether it makes sense or not,
Mm.
because I'm like, the brain is not going to be able to understand this.
Yeah.
This is not for the brain, which is the sense maker, you
Right.
know? And it's not even about like what am I feeling in this present moment, like physically, right? So
Mhm.
that sense is not going to actually be here. Like as soon as you
Yeah.
started talking, I was like, oh, like on my end, I was like, hey, soul,
Yeah.
like I need you to be hearing what is being said here, and this is good. Like we're gonna say words, but this is
Mhm.
gonna be soul to soul. That's gonna happen, and I'll say it in this way, Michelle. Like I have, like I believe in my soul, and I don't understand it. When I've gone on journeys and like, past life and things like someone said like you went out to the futures. Like I've never done that. I was like, well, I've never done it. I don't understand it at all. And so
Mhm.
what's gonna come from me, Michelle, if you're cool with it, is that we'll have the conversation, but I'm gonna trust that our souls will communicate underneath the conversation that we're having right now. And like and let us keep talking, but
Mhm.
like let them do the work. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
I think
that
that's the only way it'll work.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. Like this is what it is where I'm like, I have to throw my hands up in here, but I think what we do is we keep the channel open at least through this like direct conversation here and beyond because like there's a what you're describing you're sharing with us like the vastness of said soul, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
like my brain once like hopes that your soul hears its name, and hears its sound
Mhm.
or feels its frequency, and I'll let that play itself through. All right.
Okay.
All right. So that feels honest. That feels honest. I'm gonna ask you, brain. I'm gonna ask you like three-dimensional, like
Sure.
this planet stuff right now.
Yeah.
But know that we're actually having a
Yeah. In
conversation
service
together.
of, yeah.
Yes. So there's something here that like as I'm here and I'm experiencing two different things. I always say two, but it's not two. I'm experiencing multiple things at the same
Right.
time. Right. Um, one of them is like this vastness that is you, right? So like I feel like across your soul, across time, around like in space, like planets, like there's a vastness to you, right?
Mhm.
And you're aware of that vastness. And then there's also an element that comes off that with like, and I think this is like what you're talking about with the identity. Your current identity seems to be like expressing itself in something that is not as vast. It's still
Right.
masterful, right? But you're like, I built a boutique thing. Like there's something that's gonna be called out more for me. Like it's gonna like I don't like, and that to me, like brain wise, was really curious to have like this immense being who is fully in the know of it,
Mhm.
and has like got dipped more. Like think about the dipping of toes, like and the part, like the thing in my mind right now is like what if we're all fully submerged in this pond, but like we're only able to feel three, like you're able to feel three toes, and most of us only get a toenail, like,
Mhm.
like just
Yeah.
like I get that kind of sense there, where it's like you might already be in the pond, like,
Mhm.
but there's more of it to come. There's this the identity part here of that vastness mixed with how you're seeing yourself really strikes me. What do you make of that there? What does that take you to?
Of the vastness
The vastness like juxtaposed with it, like the way
with
you're the identity that you're
the
currently
identity, the
holding.
current
And it
identity.
like
Yeah.
or at least the currently your
Yeah.
identity expressing because it was just
Yeah.
so big. But at
Yeah.
the same time felt like boutique. I was like, oh, 10 people. Like it was
Yeah.
like it was like what is happening here? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in both sides of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, like on one level, I can say that honestly, there weren't that many people who were ready for this level of change before. Like there, it's so different. Like the last 10 years have just been like the acceleration of consciousness. And then, you come to Earth, you play by Earth rules. Like that's the
Mm,
deal. If you're going to come to Earth, you play by Earth rules, and you grow up, you get all these old beliefs and identities that then get stabilized in your subconscious. Like I got that too. I've done a ton of work on it. Um, but I still find there's parts still holding on sometimes to, ooh, I don't know how, will I have the energy? Because I got myself I got myself really, I've been teaching this for 30 years, but I didn't realize there's something called complex trauma. And what complex trauma is when somebody has all this stuff happen in childhood and they basically are in fight flight and they never come out of it. Like, and it becomes normal. So they don't even recognize it because it's the air they breathe, the water they swim in, until the physical toll starts to mount up. In my case, my endocrine system crashed. And like probably when I was 30. And people have been treating effects of it, symptoms of it. But I've gotten so used to being tired. And so this is going to be a whole new level of work and a whole new level of being seen. And I feel things easily. You see that. And so this will be a whole nother level of letting other people have their opinions without letting it hurt, right? Without letting it hurt. Or without being overly dependent on their opinions being good. So there's places in me that are still holding old parts of identity that are a little like, oh, I'm not sure I was gonna go. Um, but even in amongst that, you know, I've I felt misunderstood a lot growing up. Actually, it still happens. There's for better or worse, I can, I have a very, I have an ability to know a lot about what people are feeling and thinking without them having to say it, which is a mixed blessing. Um, and I'm still in a world with people who believe, there's an objective reality out there that we all agree on, that is affecting us. And so I'm quiet a lot. Like when I'm not teaching and I'm in a group, I'm quiet a lot because unless I'm with the few people I know who have this some similar understandings and some similar experience of no, I remember the 23rd century and this is how we deal with illness there. There's no point. I don't want to argue with people. I don't want to make people wrong. I don't want to blame them for where they're at is fine, but I'm quiet a lot. And it's been kind of lonely. I'm not going to lie. That's why it was like those three toes in. I miss the rest of me. So what I want to take with me into this next chapter, because there's going to be a lot, I'm going to need a lot more. I'm going to be doing more. I don't have to be working as hard as I've been working. That's part of what I'm going to change, but it's going to require me to be more visible. And not everyone, like some people are ready. Some people are going to be a little tweaked out by what I have to say, right? What do you mean? Um, the one review of my book already came out, and the reviewer ended it with, readers may be skeptical. And I'm like, that's fine. Be as skeptical as you want. Did you? But I'm wondering, the reviewer, did you actually do the exercises? Did you do the exercises? I don't care if you be skeptical, but do the exercises and see what happens. But that's going to happen. It's just how it's going to be. And so what I want is to connect more with the whole of me that has a certain, not certainty, certainty is not the right word, but has more coherence with what I really know, who I really am, mostly right now for me, but also because that makes it so much easier for me to see other people as they really are, not who they think they are, because all of us underestimate ourselves. So that's what I'm trying to pull in, this, multi-dimensional, intergalactic, cross-temporal version of me into this very small 3D limited time space and see how that goes. And, I still got some old identity from being 2 years old in a house full of unhappy people. So, did I answer your question?
Yes, yes, indeed, you did.
Okay, I got
Um,
lucky.
not from the brain perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understood it, and there was lots of things were happening here.
Mhm.
Um, I'm going to like I was writing down some notes
Yeah.
as we're going around, and I'm going to go to the places that feel that feel different for me. All
Yeah.
right. So the whole time here, I'm listening and I'm like, I'm
Uh-huh.
hearing brain stuff and I'm hearing like emotion stuff. And I'm like, but we're not talking brain or emotion. Like
Mhm.
what feels like we're like the soul level
Mhm.
questions, right? I'm gonna ask it as a human on this planet.
Right.
So it's not like forgive
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
on this one, but like what is that? Um the let me just check it out. What this is.
Mhm.
Do you have only one review right now for your book right now?
Yeah, because it hasn't, hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, they're well, yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's like the reason I said that I was like, is she scanning for the one thing that says like, aha, I knew it. I had to read through the whole review. What like Outlier, want this to be like a 5-star review, right? It comes at the very end, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, readers may be skeptical, but this is one of the best things out there. Like I can't
Uh-huh.
tell right now if
Uh-huh.
all
Uh-huh.
that is in there or not,
Uh-huh.
or if you're searching for it. So I'll put
Yeah.
that out there, Michelle.
Okay.
Um, the things that caught me, I'll just bring out some of them along the way. You said earlier, I'm on Earth, so I have to play by Earth's rules. And
Yeah.
that was really interesting to me because I was like, well, who set Earth's
Mm.
rules?
Mm.
Who said that? My thought came back to like, well, if we're gonna play with this, maybe you're on Earth and you have to play by the rules of Earth, and I'd be like, well, then that means that other souls were set here, and I'm pretty sure that the rules of Earth were like established by other souls that have been here, and you
Mhm.
are a soul that is here, so why can't you also like establish or reestablish or adjust some of the Earth's rules? So let me just start off with
Yeah.
that question.
Yeah. That's a good question. Um,
You may not have it like don't feel like I
mhm.
might give you something and be like if you want to sit with it, sit with it. Like you don't
Mhm.
have to answer right now. It might be one to to explore later.
Right. And part of what I meant about that, like one of the rules when you come to Earth is you agree to forget a fair amount of who you are.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you've
You
already
know,
broken some of that rules though.
yeah. Well,
So like,
there's the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So that rule may already be slipping away. Um, and, and we have, you know, being an Earth means having a nervous system
yeah,
and it's really old and buggy wiring.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so trying to get that sorted out as well. But it really is the identity piece, which is still beliefs, it's beliefs about self, but it really is I'm trying to feel into like what needs to shift so that the three-dimensional identity is not in conflict with the multidimensional identity.
Well, I'm gonna let you like continue doing that. Normally, I would let like people play with this,
Uh-huh.
but I also get that you're so good at this that this might have been an exercise that you've done. So I'm gonna play a little bit with you if you're good with it.
Sure.
All right? Are you good with
Yeah.
that? So
Yeah. Yeah.
while I'm doing this though, like
Hmm.
I still invite you to bring three-dimensional and multidimensional into higher levels of alignment. All right.
Okay.
All right. So Michelle, I don't think I've said this to anyone here, but like I truly believe that my soul is here to be working with other people's souls,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But like not in so this is one of the like the most joyous thing. Like I feel like I'm at play right now, and like yeah, I got to make sure I say that. And so there's things that are coming to me when you're talking. Then I'm like it. All right. I'll put it another way. All right. Right now, we're answering this question from the almost like the three-dimensional, like space-time existence that is you on this planet in its manifestation. All right.
Mhm.
And I feel that you're experiencing life or this next stage of your journey through that perspective, like the three toes potentially in it, right?
Mhm.
And my question for you, and I mean this super earnestly, what is the work that you are here in this life, in this iteration to do that is supposed to support that 23rd century version of you?
Right.
that maybe on another planet gets to play by the rules of having access to what Michelle Masters
Yeah.
did on this planet at this time. What is that?
Yeah. Well, that role, that's like kind of a bridge, a bridge between here and there. And so it involves kind of meeting people where they are, because we still experience ourselves as having bodies and nervous systems and family histories. We still have that experience. We don't experience ourselves always, as these eternal, unlimited beings that never die and that just continue to grow. We don't have that. And our lived experience is a daily, what feels like physical reality. And so the work that I've been doing is to meet people there and work with the physical, including the neural, the subconscious neurology stuff, to get some of that old fear and doubts about our worst stuff sorted out, so that the eternal parts of us, the divine, I think we're all divine, the divine parts of us that have creational authority, the authority to create, aren't having to fight against the creature neurology that's keeping us alive. When that creature neurology is starting to support that, then it's like, then we start to shift into our more multidimensional selves while in a physical body. So
Mm,
that's actually the work. And if so, and I always wanted to teach a spiritual class, and I was given a money class, and it's
mm,
it's become
mm,
one of the most spiritual things I do. But that's the first layer of the work, is helping people to transition out of being at the effect of their bodies, their neurology, what they see as things outside of them that are limitations or threats. Shift that so that that stuff is sorted from the inside out,
mm.
bottom up, and then take their kind of creational authority out for a spin and start to see what they can do with it. And that launches us into the next evolution of our consciousness. Yeah.
So I heard what you said,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Now
And
go ahead.
and
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 yes, sir.
and
Yes.
it was shifty. It was good. It was really good. I really like it because it's
Shake
true. But
it.
I'll ask my question a little bit differently,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
Michelle,
Yeah.
are here. I believe in this moment that you are here in service, not just of the Michelle of this time. Like what you described as how you're in service to like the population at
Uh-huh.
large right now. I'm
Uh-huh.
curious about how is Michelle on this planet at this time, at this like age, and with this like thing here, like this life that you're going to live, and like how is that in service of your 23rd century self?
Mm.
That's going to be on another planet, because that 23rd century self is not going to have three toes. That 23rd century self is going to have maybe up to a knee, right? And will be able to access this. And there's things that you can do while your soul is on this planet at this time that is going to go and help your future iterations, or your the other iterations that are happening
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously right now. And my
Mm-hmm.
ask is, what is that commitment that you already made to yourself that specifically applies to the transition that you're going through right now?
And past selves as well.
Yes. Like all of this is like we're all like to me, I'm like they're all working. It's like an Ocean's
Mm-hmm.
12 or
Mm-hmm.
Ocean's Infinity,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
is. But you
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
role to play
Yeah.
specifically for yourself.
Okay. Let me see if I can feel into it.
Mhm.
See if I can find an answer that's not shifty. That's
The what I will say with it, keep listening to there, but this may not be anything that like you have to have an answer for. Again,
right.
soul to soul. Like I have no clue
Yeah.
why this is why I feel so strongly about this, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And it may not be something I even have words for,
Yeah. It
but
might just be a wake up call for your soul. Like it might have been
right.
like, I'm supposed to just like, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm not trying to take you off it, but just don't feel like
Right.
you have to come up with something. Let's give you some time and
Okay.
space with it.
Yeah. Because it's a good question. It's a question that like it's an opening question, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like this question though. Because one of the things it does is it puts a little more focus on the right here, right now, which contains past and future, but right here, right now, what's important. And I think there's more to it than this, but there is a part of it that feels like, well, I think I've kind of said this, but there is a certain owning of my soul, so to speak. Again, right here, right now, box ticked. What do I want? What does this particular Michelle in this particular thing want? And it has some kind of flavor of connection. But what does the connection do? Is that in line with what you're asking? Yeah. All right, did you get muted?
I did get muted, but like I was also being quiet over here. Um, what I will like this to me feels like a question to keep allowing it
Ask.
to open. This is not a
Yeah.
question to come and close in, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's one of those things that like what I get about you is that like the game you play and the level of access, you broke the rules, you broke Earth's rules, and with that now has come a greater level of freedom and experience, but also a greater level of responsibility. And
Yeah.
my like what's coming to me is like you get to transcend like I think about things in terms of generations, but you're on multiple dimensions over like multiple centuries of stuff and such. And like the thing that just keeps coming back to me is that the who you choose to be during your limited time on this planet right now directly informs your past self as well as it informs your future self. So
Mm.
who you like what you choose to do, like the game you're playing, I just never thought of it like this, but the game that you're playing transcends like most other people where I'm like, tell me about your mission. Tell me about your purpose. Like
Mhm.
it's like, oh no, you're playing the same game likely like across multiple dimensions at the same time. And there's something that this iteration of you does. And I think that there's an ability to like use that with this transition here because I think that there's a lot of like I'm hearing I think you'll be able to draw power for yourself in ways that you weren't expecting, more energy for yourself, more connection to something like larger if you're connecting to that. Because I usually say like get to be a part of something larger than yourself. You're already here with the global consciousness. But I'm like, oh, your thing that's larger to yourself is your three toes, getting to be your fourth, Or I mean, I have my toes. I'm like, I think about it. I don't think about it often, but I'm like, if I lost one of those toes, all of my balance goes off, right? And so like perhaps like to me a toe is a toe, but like without it, it would be something. Maybe your job on this planet with your and part of your soul's construction is to be the toes. And if that's the case, then like do the work that the toes are here to do. And I think that you're stepping into another iteration of
Mhm.
what you're supposed to be doing here. And I don't know what that means, but there's just something that's like coming through for me where it's like honor every instance of you rather than just the instance that's living right now.
Right. Yeah, I like that. That's a kind word, owner. I like that. Because it means include, but it's not, but it's a octave up from include. Yeah, I like this question. Let me just write it down because it's one of those that if I don't write it down, it may go away. So what is this, Michelle, right now? How'd you say it again?
I I
Niiamah?
am grateful that we have transcripts because I could send it to you. I
Okay.
like this is it. Like it was it
Uh-huh.
was it was flow. It was something like it
Right.
wasn't mine to share, but it came through me,
Right.
right? And, like I honestly, but like so I will get you the
Yeah.
question. I'll find the transcript. I'll get you the question, right?
Yeah. But I have the energy of it.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like this is your soul is going to be working on this.
Yeah.
Like to me, this is going to be something that shows up in one conversation at one point when it would have been easier to go like just take a step back and be like whatever, and
Uh-huh.
instead you're like for some reason something in the back of your mind comes out and says play it this way instead.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm believing in this moment
Uh-huh.
here. I'll give it to you again afterwards.
Yeah.
I'll get the transcript and give it to you. But like that's what really feels like it's coming through. Stay open to it. Stay open to it. Like
Yeah.
this is you might be answering this question for decades. And honestly, I'm like, cool. Like
Yeah.
like game on.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
Thank you,
Michelle,
Niiamah.
yeah, thank you for playing
Niiamah.
so
Sorry,
full
Niiamah.
out. No, we're good. This like I mean, you started this whole section off here with like the name of your soul. So like as much as I love like I'm like yeah like the was fine, the was fine, like it's fine because we're having a conversation where I like honestly throughout this conversation, Michelle, what came up was like I'm like, oh, at some point I made a contract with Michelle that we were going to have a conversation and like for however long I'm going to come in and I'm going to play a role
Yeah.
and whatever it is. And so like I'm sitting here and saying thank you for giving me a chance to like honor what I'm here for. You know, I
Yeah.
like we're going to be complete at this moment here. I'm going to stop the recording, and then we'll go and play here. But I think I want to thank you for playing so full out,
Mm.
for continuing to show up in the world. You like, um, there is. I'm excited for you, Michelle. Like I wrote this down earlier. We were talking about like this element of like you're quiet a lot, and like this like part of the three toes, and it's going to require you to be more visible, and so on and so forth. And you're like, and there was like a loneliness with it. And Michelle, my thing that comes up here is like there may be a loneliness, like there may be that one review that said readers be skeptical, but like once this thing actually comes out, you're gonna be flooded with people who are like in love with it. And I think that like there's a loneliness that you've experienced because you played at a certain level. And as such, you've been able to get a certain ping of percentage of people who've understood it. Like I get thrilled for you when you play at this next level that takes this out to such a larger breadth and depth and opportunity here, where more of those people who currently don't think that it's safe to talk about these other types of experiences that they've had, like A, feel that much more room, and then B, know that like, oh, there's someone out there that totally gets it. I'm excited for you to be inundated with more of the people here. So much so that you're
Yeah.
like, I actually kind of wish I had got back because it was actually pretty good when I could just pick and choose. Now they're all just coming at me. Right. So I'm holding that space too. All right.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
really
Neil.
respect you, Michelle, and thank you for the work you do.